Yeah, well, I met Norman, I think, through Tadeusz Ropak, possibly, because him and Eleanor brought a piece of my work. And I went to their house in Spain, many different things, and visited the offices. I also went to the offices to work on my Our Blood project. So, kind of in many different ways. I can't remember exactly which was the first one. See, I've always been aware of it because it's always been a sort of literally towering presence in the world around. You know, in London there's the mayor's office, the Gherkin, all these other places that have been around for a long time. And in the 60s work in the Sainsbury's Centre, and all these pieces were presences in my sort of in my cultural world already. So Our Blood is a project that I started in 2015. It's a project about and made with and to help refugees. It's turned into quite a few different projects, but the main one that I was talking to Norman about is a sculpture that will go outside, and it has 2 blocks of frozen human blood. Each one is donated by refugees who are settled into Western countries, and one donated by people who are not refugees. But there's like 5,000 people giving a small donation to each one. So you have these blocks of human potential of all the DNA, which is like a library of humanity. It's all their ancestors to the beginning of time. And of course you can't tell the difference between the 2 blocks by looking at them. So it's really about how under the skin we're all the same. But I had a problem, which is how do you put 2 sculptures, like my other sculptures have always been in galleries, outside on the street, first of all in New York, but then go to other cities. And how do you make it so that people can see it as they walk down the street, but then they can enter in a controlled way and visit it, and also you keep it frozen the whole time, and you don't have the sun melting it. I mean, it has a freezer within it. So all these technical problems I came to Norman about. So it's quite an unusual commission, I think, or not even commission, collaboration. And Norman was like fantastic and began to work on it. I spent a bit of time talking to his company first, and then when Norman started to work on it himself, that's when it really took off. And he did like at least 10 different things, different models going for different ways. Well, we had many meetings, and we'd kind of bottom out one side of it, and then we'd meet again and look at it in a different way. And so it was a really lovely collaborative process. But it's a beautiful, elegant, simple, and also what I love about Norman is it always ends up looking simple, even though it's incredibly complex. And you know, the great thing about Norman is he's always an inspiring person. You visit him and you meet him and you hang out with him, and you always come out energized and full of ideas and energy, which is, it's a fantastic gift he has. Well, I think it's very important to preserve, for a great artist to have their, you know, their philosophy, their papers, their ideas and everything preserved. It's an incredible resource to generations to come and younger architects and artists. And it's also an incredible resource for historians of architecture and culture. There's nothing like looking at what a real architect has actually done, and seeing films about it, interviews, drawings, all this kind of, and actually that's how you understand how the thinking works. And it's really about trying to understand a way to think about the environment, about how we interact with buildings and how we interact with each other. And you can then apply that process to whatever building you're making. So I think that the best thing you can teach a student is how to think and how to apply those thinking to projects. And that's hopefully what the foundation will do for future students of architecture and art.